from Richarlison. Corin says Maka had his first decent game today for you this season. Oh, honestly, Corin, I thought he was awful all game. He couldn't pass 5 yards. But he turned up in the big moments at the end. That's the only thing I would say. But other than that, he was awful. Richarlison coming on. That's a red card waiting to happen. I think Kolo Muani's goal should have counted. Agreed. Yeah. Casper says football's a foul. Should be a corner, this one. Is it going to be a corner? Well done, Richarlison. That's a corner. Corner. Yeah. Come on. No. Ooh. Sean, think Everton win tomorrow. Sean, I'll be rooting for them. I'm going to be changing my background to blue. Not the white light. I'll be changing it to a nice... Not that one. That one. We'll have a nice royal Everton blue tomorrow to celebrate Everton. But for now, we'll stick with white light for Spurs. Come on, Spurs. DN says, surely you don't take Kolo Muani off. He's been good when he's had the ball. Spurs have just been awful. They've been poor. Ant says, Key, who was injured in the warm-up for Liverpool? It was Wirtz. Yeah, Florian Wirtz was injured. And Bazuki says, in my eyes, no one deserves the league this season apart from Villa. They've put up a good fight whilst the top 6 haven't been performing to their standards. To be honest, I think they're god-awful in the last few months. I think they're starting to focus more on the Europa League. Christopher, he was so good last year. He's been awful, but Liverpool haven't been at it the entire year. And Gamer Guru Richarlison will score. Take his top off for Arsenal to only score 2 more after. Says, what a game from Gyökeres, by the way. He has been good today, Gyökeres. I'll give him his due. He has done well today. He's played well. Al says, the quadruple is not happening, but I'll be happy with the double. I think you've got to win something this year. I still think it boiled down to that Carabao Cup final. If you win the Carabao Cup final against City, I think you go on to win the league. I think if you lose it, there's a real possibility you win nothing. Here's Eze. Over to Saka. Strike. Oh, unlucky. Keeper should do better than wide. Gamer Guru. Villa got a whiff of a title race and crumbled. Spurs are always, says Rasta. It's a very Spursy performance, this, isn't it? It's not quite... Excuse me. It's not quite the that I was expecting to see or hoping to see today. Quadruple is ours, says Rasta, and Casper's angry today after the Wolves game. Angry. I don't think they look very composed, I'll be honest. I think, a few mistakes in this game that in other games, maybe against better, more clinical teams, would have cost them. It's a 3-1 game, but it's, I don't think it's a like I said, I think if the referee's done his job here, it's 2-2 and it's a completely different game. So Spurs can count themselves unfortunate. But overall, Arsenal have had the better chances. Arsenal have been a lot more dominant in possession. There's still 20 minutes left and Spurs don't even look like they've not laid a glove on Arsenal. This is meant to be a derby. So intensity has undoubtedly dropped for Spurs. And I think if I was a Spurs fan, that would be the thing that would be most upsetting, most galling to me, is that even with a brand new manager coming in, this lot looks so flat. In the biggest of big games, Spurs are still looking meek and flat and of energy and just nothing really about them. Maybe they're missing Romero today. Maybe it's that. Stadium atmosphere is very quiet from Spurs, and Corin says Spurs needed Solanke, to be honest. Yeah, I think Solanke today might have made a big difference. Solanke, yeah, sadly, Simons is so poor for that kind of money. Yeah, I mean, he's very young as well. Again, if I'm going to give the grace to players like Wirtz and Voltemade and young players who have come to the Premier League, I think you've got to give it Sesko as well. You've got to give it to Xavi Simons as well. He's a young player. I think it's going to take him some time. Three-star Reds. Come on, sir. Are we having a card for that? Gamer Guru says, more chances dominant, yet not a convincing win. Key, what are you on about? Because a convincing win would not have required a referee's decision to make that 2-2, which it should have been. It should have been 2-2. Spurs have scored 2 legitimate goals today. And one of them has been ruled out for no reason whatsoever. And goals change games. At the end of the day, I think all Arsenal fans were pretty unanimous in the chat that they were very fortunate to get away with that goal. Very, very fortunate. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve the win, but it does mean that they've not battered Spurs today. They've been better on the ball. They've had more chances to get it, but you can't say it's not been a walk in the park. Could have been 2-2 very, very easily. If that goal gets given, Arsenal fans aren't complaining about shoving the back. They're saying Gabriel should be stronger, aren't they? They're saying Gabriel's thrown himself to the floor. Creed says, bloody hell, Key, just in the Liverpool result. You left that one late. There you go. Late winners is all what it's about, mate, in the weekend. Blackburn with a fantastic late winner on Friday, eh, mate? Nate says, I'm going to be honest, it feels like Arsenal winning with luck, set piece and counters and not enough to win the league. They need to work on 1-2 passing speed and more. And Rasta says, Liverpool won and Arsenal is going to win also, no matter how we did it, fam. A win's a win, and a win in the North London derby is impressive however you want to jack it up. Swifty, ifs and buts doing a lot of work, Keith. It's not ifs and buts to score 2 legitimate goals, is it? That's not ifs and buts. It's ifs and buts to say if the referee had... At the end of the day, Arsenal have done a game and they'll win the game. There's no doubt about that. But you can still say, a little bit fortunate. Little bit fortunate. Another Eze hat-trick will complete this game. Well, Trossard's off for Martinelli. Odegaard, it might well be for Eze. If this is Eze coming off, it's not an Eze hat-trick. He's being taken off. This fella's be picking splinters out his arse all season, and he's going to get another taste of the bench again. The bench for Eze. 124 says, but you can't say that's a legitimate when it happens against Liverpool. It's a definite foul. It's not happened against Liverpool. All of Eze's goals have come against Spurs this season. Spurs should have at least 4 yellows. Oh, goodness me. 3-star says... Christopher says, I don't think a single Arsenal fan genuinely thinks it's a foul or how many goals are ruled out as fouls. There's nobody thinks that's a foul. There's not a single Arsenal fan or otherwise who thinks that's a foul. They got very, very fortunate with it. And it's, at the end of the day, they've got away with it, and they'll be very fortunate and they'll be grateful of the referee for that decision. That decision has then led to them getting the 3rd goal. And on such minor things are games turned, and I'm sure Igor Tudor will be saying that. Look at Eze. Eze's raging on the bench. He's fuming. And then look at who Sky have pointed it straight to. Thomas Tuchel. All the things I am saying are coming to fruition. You're all getting all angsty and saying, oh, why is Eze? Why are you giving Eze grief? All I'm saying is he will regret moving to Arsenal. He ain't going to the World Cup. He could have chose bench player at Arsenal but might win a league, or starter somewhere else, he'll go the World Cup. That's what he chose the first one. And that's fashion. He's gone back to his former, he's the club that told him to leg it when he was a kid. And good luck to him. Hold you to that. He won't go to a World Cup. He will. I'm telling you, he will not go to the World Cup. Eberechi Eze does not go to the World Cup with England. Not a chance. Not a chance. Gamer Guru, 5 goals in a North London team he snubbed last second. Mate, that's worth every penny. It probably is for Arsenal. Just saying. He's not going to go to the World Cup. That for him, it's a big price to pay. He's been taken off again when he's on a hat trick. Rasta, he is going to the World Cup. He's not. I'm telling you, Rasta, you've got this one wrong. This is going to be one of your predictions that falls through, Rasta. I'm telling you. Christopher says he backed himself. Can't fault it, to be honest. Just Arteta doesn't want him. Yeah, and maybe, like I said, maybe he thought he would get more of a starting opportunity. I thought he would, to be honest. I thought he would be starting more than he has, but unfortunately, Arteta just doesn't see it that way, does he? But again, he's a maverick, isn't he, Eze? That's kind of what he was good at before. Was he was an individual, he was a maverick. He was one of the Premier League's most exciting players at Crystal Palace, and that's evidently what Arteta doesn't like: individuality. He wants system players. He wants players who follow instructions. That's what he's about. He's not going to be taking chances and risks with Eze. That's what I think he looks at him as, a risk. You're a risk if I play you. Where if I play Odegaard, or I play Trossard, or I play Marino, they know what I'm looking for. They know what I'm after. Safe players. Safe. But you're just too good. You're too risky. You're a maverick. So I would say Noni is better than Eze. Noni's done very well this season. Yeah, Madueke's done very well. Casper, defenders and goalkeeper protected in their own box. And Jarua says,